Hi everybody! How you doing? No camera this evening because it turns out I can run OBS without it jumping frames if I keep the camera off. That and I am not camera ready right now. I'm not naked or anything, I just look like a troll. Anyway, so, how have you all been? Hope everyone's been well. I figured I'd skip the chatting screen, seeing as it's just little old emote down there. Should we crack on? I can't remember what we were doing. Have a look. That would be the wise move, wouldn't it? Well, we weren't doing that. Not that much. I think I should get some of these out of the way, to be honest. So. Where's this? Right there. Where are we? Here. Oh, we can do this. We can do this. Okay. Oh, we need a follower. We need a follower. Where's it? Have I still got the champions option? Nope. Can I get a follower at the champions? Because Sven died, didn't he? It was Sven. Goodbye, Sven. Ooh, pretty tree. Morning. Now, where was this champions thing again? Okay, I can't remember. Nope. The hell do I press again? Oh my god, I forgot the buttons already. That one. Never mind. I know that. It's fine. So. Were they here? Or were they... I feel like they were here. But I also feel like I'm wrong. Because I know we can get a follower from them. Hang on, I will find out. So they are in Whiterun.
I work for Bellathor at the general goods store.
Good for you.
What are you looking at? I'm not afraid of you.
I just can't remember where they are.
You are my elder.
I don't think it's here. I'll have a look.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire.
Nope,
Take a
not
seat
here.
and get the cold out.
The finest cuts, fresh from the wilds.
Where, oh where do we find these people again?
Do you get to the Cloud District very often?
Never even heard of it.
Of course you don't.
I mean, that was a bit snooty. Oh! Could it be that big building with the shields on it? Yes! Good evening. Hello.
Skjor says that I have the strength of Ysgramor, and some people don't think I'm smart. Those people get my fist. But you, I like.
I don't need
I've already given you a job. Now get to it.
Oh, you did? Oh dear.
All right then.
What job did you give me? I'm gonna say it's that one. You have a twin over there, did you know that?
My brother I'm here to help.
Oh, your brother. Okay, yep, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let me guess,
You
you're the
still
brother.
need to prove yourself, Whelp.
You've got to be the brother. There's no way you're not the brother. Right, we'll go do this and then maybe we'll get him. Companionless we shall go. Oh. Oh, that went well. That went even better. Class boat. No. Oh, shit.
No place here.
Oh, for the love of... It said clear. Yeah, fuck you. Large antlers. Oh, I don't particularly want to fight a fucking dragon right now, if I'm honest. I'd very much like to let them just kill each other off, but I don't think the dragon's going to play ball. Hi, Ayla. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Uh-oh. How are you doing? Are they all still there? Or did they die? Oh, there's two of them still going. Ooh.
Money don't jiggle jiggle.
Oh my
I like to see
goodness.
you wiggle wiggle for sure.
What are you doing? I mean, thank you very much, but what are you doing? Shoot you. Missed you. Thank you very, very much. That was very, very kind. Just popping in for a moment. Not a problem. Welcome in. I hope you are well. I just roly-polied in here. Oh, yeah. How's everything going with you? How's work and stuff?
Money don't jiggle jiggle.
Oh my goodness.
I like to see you wiggle wiggle for sure.
Do you think we can get him? Because I haven't got a sacrificial lamb. Oh, I thought it might hit the tail. Don't come down here to fight me. There's a goddamn dragon in the sky. Thank you. What's the matter with you? Where land? Where land? Where land? There it went. Totally cheating. I'm totally cheating. Don't even care. Right, where's the person? Come on. Did they die? That went well. Boom! I'm sure there was another person down there with the dragon. Well. Yeah, where'd the magic lizard go? Did it die with the giant lizard? Did you kill it? Hello. Is there a person down here? Nope. Oh. Oh, there's a big crab though. Are you alive? You don't look alive. No, you're dead. Goodbye. Nope, that's not crouch. Oh, there's another one. You were busy. Haha! I knew there was one. Right. I mean, it'd just be a shame to let the dragon's work go to waste, wouldn't it? Oh, nope. Wrong button again. Forgive me, I, seem to have forgotten which buttons do what. So it happens when you game hop so much, isn't it? Just so many buttons. This isn't where I wanted to go. Just collecting my stuff. Did that say they had 13 steel arrows in them? Were they just picking my arrows up? Cheeky buggers. Alright, anyway. Where are we going? That way. Come on, you get there. We go. Uh-oh. Sorry, kitty. Oh! Yeah! One shot the cat. Oh, yeah. Stop rolling bullion, it's fine. Right in the chops. Like, I literally think that went through its mouth. Yep. Oh. Sorry, cat. Nothing personal. That way. Oh, could it be there? Looks very campy, doesn't it? Dun, 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 dun. Hello. Should have brought a dragon with us. Oh. Okay. Nothing to see here. Nothing. Nope. Oh, shit.
You won't leave Skyrim alive!
Yes, I will.
Can't wait to count out your coins.
See? Told you. Excuse me. That should have really hurt.
Go ahead.
What the hell? What the hell are you made of?
Won't leave Skyrim alive!
Yeah, you went down in one. He took 3 to the head. Christ! Feel different. Nope. Ooh, thank you. Right, you bloody brick-hard bugger, you. 3 steel arrows and he was still standing. Jesus. Taking your bow. And everyone. Dun, 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 dun. Hello. Oh. Lovely. Ooh, a trap. Hi, Maxwell. Thank you for the lurk. Hope you're doing well. Ooh. I will just do this and this. Because I am assuming that Mr. Maxwell is a streaming. Oh, that's not how you do it. What'd you do that for? Okay, try it again.
Good day, sir.
Oh, it still worked.
You were dragging him down the road and he was carrying it like...
Look, I told him I don't have time. I don't have time.
Did in fact say that, yes.
Like, you coming with me or you're not? Like, he was carrying blood vials and you were dragging them away from me. I was trying to get them.
Hello,
Sorry,
how
Dad.
are you? Welcome in. Nice to see ya. I would normally have a camera on, but we're having a very troll day today, so no. Oh, good. I am glad you're well. I'm not too bad, thank you very much. I keep forgetting I'm crouched. I've forgotten all the buttons, so I'm just gonna keep randomly dying, I reckon. Oh, need to turn that down. Sorry, I've just put Mr. Maxwell's stream up on my phone and forgot about volume. But I am glad you're well. What on earth happened there? Oh! Oh, well, that didn't work out very well for them, did it? You try. Oh, oh, nope. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. Not bad, not bad. Dee-dee. Have you played Skyrim? I'm going to assume you have. It's very rare to find someone that hasn't. Nice pick and thank you very much. I'm a learning. Oh. Right. You've never... Ooh! Is it something you'd like to try? Oh, bless it. Does that need charging? Before I go in. Guns blazing. Well, hello there. I'm good, thank you. How are you? How is it going? Yes, it does need charging.
Mother was a servant in the employ of Lord Leviticus. and
Buying from heat.
resided
Oh
at
dear.
his fortress.
With the guy who wrote the book in the Bible?
Lady Leviticus was a shrew of a woman. The Lord and my mother grew close, and ultimately fell in love.
Gross.
I was the result of their union.
You're gross.
Is a little
When the
bit.
lady learned of my birth, she was furious and threatened to kill both my mother and me.
Should have.
So we fled, leaving my claim to nobility behind.
Yeah, you should have killed.
He's like a Skyrim,
I'll be
Oblivion,
nice.
whatever game that is, Shrek. The ogre that could be Prince. I don't know if it's my taste, but I enjoy watching games like this. More multiplayer games. That is fair. Boop. Oh, the spine. That felt personal. Sorry. Dear. Dying from. Well, I'm terribly sorry you're dying from the heat, media. Thankfully, the heat here has eased off. A little bit. Nice boop. Thanks. I do try and pride myself on the boops. I'm normally not very good at them, but when I am, hell yeah. See, I don't have a companion to carry heavy things for me anymore because he died. He went and got freaking burnt up by a dragon or stepped in front of my arrow. I'm not quite sure which, but there was a dragon there, so I'm gonna blame the dragon. Ooh. What would that be in Celsius, good sir? Or madam, I shouldn't assume, I suppose. Good individual. Room service. Now surely they're going to hear me if I start. Oh good, they're deaf. Wonderful. Oh, I've just done another stupid. That's going to be really heavy, isn't it? I'm assuming it's still hot as fuck. Really? No, none of you are hearing this? No? Oh, okay. They don't get paid enough to hear this shit. Right, let's not get carried away. Let's do the job first and we can mine stuff later. Was I just meant to kill him? Yes.
You hear something?
Bollocks. Oh, bollocks! That went well. I'm glad you can't see me. I don't understand why you can't see me. Totally taking this to my... Oh, that's still not pleasant. That's still not pleasant. We have ads starting in about 2.5 minutes for those that get ads, just so you know. Ooh. Ooh. Thank you. Oh, thank you very, very much. Take that. Nope. Nope. With ad call out. Oh yeah, if I'm not like getting my butt kicked and I can see it. Mm-hmm. And they are 3-minute long. Well, they're meant to be 3-minute long ads. So if you want to pop out and go see someone else and pop back in, that's when the ads will be finished. And I completely understand doing that because I absolutely feckin' hate ads. I ended up biting the bullet and getting turbo because I hate ads. They drive me insane. More so because it's always the same one. Like, I literally had 3 of the same ad in a row once. I was like, do you know what? No. No. Take my money. Oh, that's flammable. Okay. Well, oh, that's flammable near a forge. Really, guys? Really? How did you not die before I got here? Sweet Jesus. They're heavy. They're expensive. Turbo is awesome. See, YouTube Premium is kind of helpful at the minute because I'm watching all of the Critical Role. We're currently on campaign 3. But paying that much just to watch for, like, for Critical Role kind of makes us go, eh. But then again, the way they ended up getting me to pay for it is there was an ad every, I think we timed it, it was a minute and a half I would get, and then I'd get an ad. So it was like, okay, you win. Here's more money. But I'm saving up to move house. So I need to, like, ugh. So many choices. Sorry, I went on an absolute tangent there, didn't I? I got rid of Turbo last month, but I'll be getting it back. Want to see if I missed it, and I do. Yep, that doesn't surprise us. Ads are about to start, just so you know. I will see you in 3 minutes, those of you that get ads. It's a shame there's not even an option for us to be like, you know how you can make it on just underneath the screen, like a little billboard kind of thing, so you don't miss any of the actual stream. If I could make all the ads 3 minutes of that, I'd just leave it on the bottom permanently, and then you just wouldn't have to ever, leave me. But, hey, Sarah. Oh, didn't want to pick that up. I kept getting ads for womanly products. Like, why? That is a good question. I do not know. That's not what I wanted to do either. Maybe they'll like, women. Maybe they'll like this stuff. Then it's like, clearly you don't know women because we don't like having to use any of that. It's a necessity. Ah, poor elephant. Worst part is half of them are in Spanish. Oh, they think you know foreign women. Well. You just got us talking about women's products. They did their job. See, there you go. They knew their market. And we're talking about Spanish women and stuff now. Ah, I forgot. My loot fucking goblin tendencies get me in trouble. Stop biting iron. Drop some shit. Right, you can go. Hey, we're on the limit. Ooh, don't step on the thing. Speaking of, there are these new amazing tampons I heard about. You might like them. They're right up your alley. They're right up somewhere. Oh no. Oh. That's what I get for making tampon jokes. Hello? What are you doing over there? Your bed's here. Yeah? Bed? Bella, on a bed. Good girl. Oh dear. Aww. Does it? I mean, the person. Oh, it's an elf. Oh. But the elk. Oh. Oh. Oh dear. Get it? Oh, poor thing. I don't think I can get out this way. I don't need to sneak anymore. I killed everyone. Excuse me. What's my favourite animal? You in Maracas prison. No, I am in this camp. Yeah. And my favourite animal, I'll let you guess. It's a 50-50 actually. My two favourite animals are pandas and cats. I ain't saying it. I don't know if I've done that prison. Do you have one? I have 3. And a dog. We have a orange Tom, Griffin. A tuxedo fluffball called Gizzy. And my housemate has a cat called Aggie, and she's a tiny weenie. I think she's a cross between a turtle shell and a blue Russian. Because she's just so pretty. But she's very small. Ooh, twinsies! Right, sorry. Have I done that market? I don't think I have, you know. Not even 100% sure where it would be. Oh, well, it wasn't even the right thing. Dobby, Luna, and Stri. Dobby! Myrtle for the dog. I like it.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn
It's
Guard.
fantastic.
Vampire hunters or something in the old fort.
Well, Griffin is named for Gryffindor. Yes, I'm talking about you. He's just appeared out of nowhere. And he's just eyeballing us. Have any nicknames for them? Well, Bella's Sunday name is Bellatrix Le Dog. So Bella technically is her nickname. Griffin, we tend to... Master has given Dobby a clock. Ha! Got the fur off you. What are you going to do about that? Fucker. Well done on the first. Thank you. Griffin's nicknames tend to either be...
Dragons?
If he's being really adorable, he gets Griffy Griffin or Tart. And the other one just tends to be Ginger Fucker. Gizzy can do no wrong. She is my angel. Ooh, the holdings of a Jarl. Ooh, steel. Oh, right, that one thing that I left last time. Ah. Oh, what happened there? Cat's taking over the keyboard at the moment. Not a problem. Thought it was for Harry Potter. Yes, I am quite a Potterhead, I suppose, or a pothead. Oh, not recently, anyway. Oh, I thought I would have already had that. Oh well.
Yep.
Seeing as these people have to sleep, apparently. God. You alright? Where's your mate? He's up there. Okie dokie. Don't you walk away from me. I'm Excuse me.
I serve Jarl Balgruff at...
I know that.
You've done us a great service. Here is your reward.
I don't think there's
Enjoy
anything
your
left
visit
for us
to
to
Dragon's
decorate the
Reach.
house with. Right. So which of these is gonna... Is it gonna be one of these? Could be that. No, it's this one, isn't it? I think it was that one. Right. So we need to go there. Forgot anything close. That's the closest thing. Okay. Can't fast travel from any location. I knew it was going to say that. Move, child.
Other wanderer, here to lick my father's boots. Good job.
I will shoot you in the head. I do not lick a boot. I'm a wood elf. God damn it. I'm also crippled. I couldn't bend down to do it. Right, so we need to go nyah. Then from nyah, we go nyah. You lick trees. Fuck yeah, and occasionally toads. If you know, you know. Roots on occasion.
Time for a little drinky poo. Cheers, genitals.
Thanks! So I had to mute to sneeze and I forgot it takes a couple of seconds for my microphone to kick back in. Thank you for that hydrate. Okay, let's go. Oh no. I made a mistake. Go back. I'm nearly over encumbered. I'm here too. Yes, you are.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Only a little bit. Right, so that's food. Oh wow, I have 6 of those things. That's gross. Awesome. What's in? Yeah. Oh, empty.
You can do it!
Thank you! I will do my best. I promise nothing. Because we're gonna sit and do all that shit later. Fuck it, I'll start in here. Nope. Oh, wait. Wait. I can do it for some of the night long, and then my back'll twinge because I'm old and crippled, and then we'll have to take a breather and have a cup of tea. Right, you can go in there. $19? No wonder. Christ. Bloody hell do I think I am? What on earth is that? Can I? Nope, can't put that away. Okay, fine. Didn't want to anyway. Why do I have those? Transmute mineral ore. What? So if I pick up all that iron ore, it'll turn it into silver. Oh my god. That's cool. How do you like your tea? It depends on the tea. If I have English breakfast, I prefer it with honey and milk. Same for Earl Grey, actually. But if I have chai, I just like it how it is. Right, well that's a wee bit weighty, isn't it? So we'll bang that in there. That's stolen, so we'll go sell that. They would kind of be... What pork boots am I wearing? Sneak. I mean, they'd kind of be handy. Hell yeah, with tea. Yeah. Do you enjoy a good cuppa? Staff of firebolts. Dagger. Yeah. I need to make that a fine dagger, not just a... dagger. And then I need to go sell some of this shit. Hello there. I know she could be my companion, but she's looking after my house. So, no. Ooh. And out we go. I'm gonna quickly sell my stolen shit and then do the thing. Do the roar. I used to quite like, you can get this green tea and Earl Grey tea combination thing over here. It was very, very nice.
You want to talk to me?
Nope.
Okay.
I like some iced tea. Hot tea I like, but not as much. I've never been big on iced tea. Normally because it's 9 times out of 10 it's peach. I mean, I've drank my fair share of cold tea, but that's just because I've got like spicy brain and I forget I've made a cup of tea and then it's gone cold and I'm now at the point where I refuse to either keep heating it up or throwing away tea.
Welcome to the cozy... Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
What's wrong with peach? I don't like it. Don't like peach. Don't like the taste, and I'm not really a big fan of the colour either. Well, I can't... Oh no, I can sell that, yeah. No peach, yeah. It's just one. If you like peach, that's great. I do not like the peach. It turns out you were wrong. I do like ginger tea, yes. Do you use tea bags or loose leaf? I'm a bit lazy, and at the moment I do use tea bags. Mainly because it turns out to be a bit cheaper at the minute, but my loose leaf tea thing broke, and I never replaced it. Oh no, I should have kept that one. It's magic I want rid of. Oh well, bollocks. Don't need that. Don't need that. Sale. Sale. Ah, there you go. Sell. Sell.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening!
Oh my goodness!
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait! Everybody calm down!
Well, hello! Hello! How's everybody doing? Thank you very much for the raid. I appreciate you. How was the rest of your stream? I would normally have a camera on, I apologise, but I'm having a bit of a troll day today. So I figured I'd save you all the joy. Ooh!
Courtney worked a 9-hour shift and has been home for an hour and a half already. And she didn't come lose the game over here? What the fuck, dude?
My goodness, how dare. Be not afraid.
That was fucking sad.
I'm a millennial, we have anxiety, we're always afraid. Welcome in, everyone. I am Panda Pop, and we are currently doing our first run-through of Skyrim. Sven was my companion. He died. Clip pulls always make me nervous. Always hope it's not a PG chat. Oh god, no. I mean, at times this channel could use a little bit of PG. God damn. 100% millennial. Oh, yep, yep. She's old, darling. That way. Yes, that way. Ah. But yes, welcome in. We normally play, like, RPGs with the occasional shooter. I never used to be big on shooter. But then Cyberbeard got me playing COD. Because he's a wizard. I just want to be older. Oh, don't wish to be older. Good lord. Enjoy being young while you can. It's all backache, aches and pains and cracks, and your body doesn't even have the decency to glow, but it'll pop like a glow stick. Enjoy your youth, child. Hope Skyrim's treating you right. It is. Thank you very much. Glad I could bring love. I gotta prep my kiddos to show up. But I had to come and say hello. Ooh! I hope prepping goes well and that you all have a great weekend. Or day, or however long they are there. I get to retire when you're older. I mean, technically you could do what I do and just break your back and then you get to retire early. But it's not as fun as it sounds because you kind of have to have chronic pain for that. If you want to wait until you're really old to retire, though, I mean, you still don't want to wish it away because then by the time you're retired, you don't have as long left. And time passes a lot quicker the older you get. Also, thank you for that follow, by the way. I know I responded with the hello, but I didn't say thank you. Thank you, random citizen. Follows are anonymous, and I won't call you out on it. Don't worry. I mean, I'll say thank you, but I won't be like, hey, you! I agree, but work and I don't ever. No. So I got suspended at work. Oh, well. That's a form of retirement, I suppose. If you squint. What you gonna do that for? But thank you very much for the raid, Spicy. I do appreciate you. Fabulous human. Time off for good behaviour. It could be. That's a good way to look at it. Glass half full, I like it. Making sure there's no tigers. I was working a bar and Hubs was keeping me company. Oh, that'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it. That's fair. No. See, now you can... What you gonna do that for? Oh, is that a crotch shot and a skeleton? Oh dear. Hold, please. Hey.
You are watching a master at work.
Oh yeah. They don't come out of life, right? Hello? You stay down? Good, fabulous. What? Oh, there you are. Nope. Hello? Aha! Nope, I want the rest of what was attached to the sword. Oh, there he is. Just a tumbling foot. Oh, okay. Hello, could you stay dead, please? That was what went through my head. No regrets. I wouldn't have any either. Do you know what? When I was young, when we were younger, if you went and said offensive shit, you normally got a punch in the face. Too many people, like, and this is gonna potentially be one of those, ooh, I don't know if I agree with this, and that is fine. I have slight aggression, and I am okay with that. But too many people have not felt the backhander of consequence across their little face, and it shows. There are just some things you shouldn't say to people because you're going to get a smack. Bring back... Exactly. I mean, I'm not saying, like, go out and absolutely just spark everybody that offends you in the slightest. If you think you're going to go through life without getting offended, you're very naive and it's, you know, it's going to hurt, babe. But there's a difference between saying something someone doesn't agree with that can potentially be viewed as offensive and just being a dick. Oh, hello, puppy. I told him if I come back and it happens again, it's hands. Exactly. See? But some arseholes deserve... Oh, 100%. Some people deserve the shovel of consequence. Just to make sure it really, you know, hits home. Oh, you stupid little... I don't like shooting the puppies anyway, and you go and shoot a rock? On sight is what the kids say. It is, yeah. What the kids say. I say that like I didn't turn around to my nephew when he was like, bruh. I was like, if you ever say that word again. Bruh is something that holds up boulders. Or itty bitties, you know? It depends what you got. But that's what a bruh is. I will not have such nonsense in my house. It's all because I was busy serving someone. He called us a homo slur. And I was like, bro, be patient. Itty bitty bitty. The bruh. Oh, honestly. It was just the fact that it was just the way that he came out with it. I can't even remember what he was saying because I was just so distracted. He was like, oh my god, bruh. I went, what? What was that? Small human. No. Bruhs are for boobies. I've just barely come to terms with bro, man. He's hitting us with bruh. No. We're from the north, god damn it. We don't say bruh. I work at a school, so I hear it. Oh god, nah. Nope. Well, he's 7. The kid that said it. Oh! So your person's dead. Okay. With me. We will call you Humphrey. I think he likes it. No. Is there a way to make Humphrey run? Ah! Good, Humphrey. Oh, shit. You turn, Humphrey. You turn. Wow, Humphrey, you're not very good at dodging things, are you? Jesus. You leave Humphrey alone. Oh, here. Where you going? Where you going? Where you at? There you go. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Sorry. You made me lose my horse. Humphrey! Where'd you go? God damn it. Now I'm gonna use my peasant legs. I was gonna give him an apple and everything. Goodbye, Humphrey. You were a valiant steed. Oh, I've lost my horse. Anyway. Right, so. Now, double check. Ooh, double checking. Yes, assassination. Okay. Just making sure before I'm like, you know, whatcha? And it turns out I needed to keep someone alive. We've all been there. It happens. Are you ready, kids? Let's go. Oh, hello. Lovely weather. Oh, bollocks. Ah! Oh, wow, you is, delightful. Oh, no! Go away! Leave me alone. Nothing to see here. Aye, aye, Captain! Do you know what? Never really watched SpongeBob. Sadly, I do know that tune. Ooh. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm already wearing that armor, or I would have taken it. Nope, don't want the skull. I like how it slows down when you draw your bow. It is quite handy. It's once at aim. So if I used it better, I should draw my bow and then aim. Because then it'll last longer. But no, I panic. A foot. Oh, I can hear someone talking. Please stop doing that. Random voice from the beyond. It's kind of creepy. They're not going to be up there. Could be up there. Ooh, hello. Nope. Oh. Oh. Oh, what was that? Oh, yeah. Was that a link? It's the only thing I can think that it would have blocked you. Well, not blocked you, but put the stars up. Not that I've got a problem with people sharing links per se. It was because when bots were coming in and the whole, like, you know, click this link to get whatever because your chat's dead, even though I'm chatting away to you. Because they're cheeky. I'm not 100%. No, you're absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. 1 second. I may have a solution. If you wish, you can put it there. No, you don't have to apologise or should have asked first. Some people have links in. It's absolutely fine. You can do, like, apparently you can give people passes to put links in, but I don't know how to do that. So my solution is a Discord. You can pop it in there if you wish. I really need to figure out how to do the passes for people to do links. It literally, it's not, I've not got a problem with people sharing stuff at all. It's just when, like I say, when bots were coming in, it was one of the easiest ways for us to try and deter them a bit. Well, prevent them, I should say, not deter them, because nothing deters them. Hello! Really?
I knew I smelled mortal blood.
Oh, this is gonna be great. Ha-ha! Suck it! Ooh! We need those. Oh, we need one more. What's it? Ooh, it's a magic one. What about you? Thanks. So thoughtful. Now, ooh, level up. Nice. Yeah, I will look into how you can give the I don't need crouch anymore. Give the passes. Frostbite venom. Aha, I can see. I can see. Nope. Ooh, take it. Nope. Nope. Ooh. How yummy. Up. I will take the berry though. Well, I would have took the apple for my horse, but it ran away. Yes, I do this with every book. Oh, I meant to take that one, but I meant. Because you never know, really. Ooh. How the fuck did I not see that? Right, we'll take you, we'll take you, we'll take you, and we'll take you. I know that already. Thanks. Thanks. Nice touch with the little rugs. Oh, that's just yummy. Oh, look. A black soldier. Ooh, what the fuck's a black one? Sounds a bit racist. My apologies. Oh. Right, let's have a look. Well, I already know that. No, no, no. Okay, never mind. We're not disenchanting anything. Thank you. What we got here? Darkest darkness. Oh, that's very emo, isn't it? Chance's folly. We've already read that. I love the book stand though. Very nice. Oh, we've read that. We'll take that. What are these? Oh. Glitched. That's what they are. They're glitched. Fabulous. Nope. Is that everything? Everything adequately stolen? Yes. Well, purloined, I should. Okay. Let us be off. Oh, Jesus, I nearly shit myself. That was scary. Right, so now we go. Yeah. I do need to make another drink. Put this away. Excuse me. Thank you. Excuse me.
It's
Storm
not easy
cloaks,
being a woman in
Imperials,
Skyrim.
dragons. Ain't no matter to me. What
I don't know if that's a very healthy attitude to have. Doesn't matter what I kill. It kinda does. It kinda does. Hello.
Some people don't think I'm smart, and I've already received word that the client is satisfied. You have done well for yourself and for the companions.
Mm-hmm.
Skjor was looking for you earlier. Don't know. He just said he needed to talk to you before you do anything else. I don't like making him angry, but there is some work for you if you want it.
So how do we make him a companion?
My brother Vilkas is a better talker than me. He should be around someplace. I've never been a smart one, but the companions welcome anyone with the heart of a warrior. When we step into battle, we fight for our own name and the name of the companions. Vilkas and I have been here since we were little whelps. Our father Jurgen raised us here. Even Vigner couldn't remember companions younger than us.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
then.
assuming I've got to do more tasks before he's allowed to join us. Unless there's somebody else in here that can join us already. Was there a woman? I can't remember now. Can you?
I was the newest companion
No.
until you came along. I guess that's okay.
About
Just
you?
means I can show you the
I'm
ropes.
still trying to figure out why
No.
Skjor let you in the first place.
Well...
The latest recruit,
No.
right? Wait, is that right?
I never thought they would actually let me join the companions. But now it looks like they're letting
Ooh,
anyone in these
one-handed
days.
weaponry. That's tempting. May come back to talk to you.
Might head down to the meadery later, see what they're brewing up. You can smell the honey on the wind.
Okay. Bit weird. Whatever. You can...
I've heard you may actually be stronger than you look.
Oh, she can
Perhaps
train
we
us
can
with
hunt together
archery.
someday. I'll show you what I know.
Ooh, that's expensive. If you can get her as a companion,
Until next time.
Great. I'll exploit the shit out of that. Ooh. Go back to sleep, dear. I should have saved first. Oh, bollocks. Oh, yeah. Nothing to see here. Fine, I'll take the fucking teeth. Really don't want to give me that fucking stuff. Jeez. La la la. La 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 la. The fuck did I just step on? Did you hear that squelch as well? Ooh. The dolls are creepy. Ooh, what's in here? Huh. Nope. Keep your eyes shut.
There you are. I did. Your time, it seems, has come.
Ooh, personal space, my dude.
Last week, a scholar came to us. He said he knew where we could find another fragment of Wuthrad. He seemed a fool to me, but if he's right, the honor of the Companions demand that we seek it out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fine line between respect and bootlicking, new blood. But I like your spirit.
Well, I was trying to be
We've
nice.
decided this will be your trial. Do well, and you'll be counted among the Companions.
Ah, then I can get a
Farkas
helper.
will be your
Okay.
shield sibling on this venture, whelp.
Okay.
He'll answer any questions you have. Try not to disappoint, or to get him killed.
I can't promise the last one. Hey, get up.
I hope you've readied yourself. So I'm told. Let's see if you impress. A smart man came and told us about a blade piece. Skjor thinks you should find it, and I'm supposed to watch you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Am I going the right way or the wrong way? Wrong way. Could have told me I was going the wrong way. Jeez. How much does my stuff weigh? I want to sell some shit. Well, I say I might want to sell some stuff. I want to put the ingots in my house.
Need a blade?
Nope.
You should talk to Adrian at the forge.
But I don't want to.
Spare a coin for a poor beggar. What? Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart.
Yes, yes. Right. So, that's food, isn't it? Do I have any more? Nope. Oh, except these two bits of random rabbit on the floor. Excuse me. There you go. As if that's an ingredient. Normally, I'd eat the ingredient to see, like, to take one of the slots up. I'm not quite prepared for that right now. Feel like that's crossing a little bit of a line. I will eventually. Right, potions. I only need one of those. I don't really think I need that. That could be helpful. No. I already got one up there, haven't I? Increases light armor for 60 seconds. Okay. Hmm. I should probably put the scrolls in there as well. I could just sell them, like I'm not a magic user. Right up here. Black soul gem. One more flawless amethyst, and we have the stuff that Argonian needs for his engagement ring. Because we're just nice like that. Retrieve the fragment. Okay, so if we... Oh, I went there last time and nearly got shot a bit, didn't I? Well, go there again. Get shot, get shot. You can see they shouldn't have had time to respawn. Do need to level up though. Let's see what we have. Okay, I'm gonna put it on health. Speech. Pickpocketing, lockpicking. Fella, come in here, please. There we go. Ooh, what have we got there? Hunter's Discipline. Recover twice as many arrows from dead bodies. That could be handy. Did we have a sneak one? That's light armor. Not quite. Yep, looks like that one it is. Right, we want to go over here. So, you still there, Mr. Dude? Yes, you are. Okie dokie. Oh, fab. Where you at? Aha. Oh, I'm well. Oh, you little shit. My bow needs charging. Oh. I'm not going to shoot you. You will squish me. Where'd the other one? Oh. Might start using steel arrows. Build them up a bit. Better. Right. Oop, crabs. Don't move. Really? Really? Boop. That it? Where'd the deer go? Oh. Hello. Oh, it's an elk. My apologies. One steel arrow. I'm not going to shoot you, don't worry. Ooh. Ah. Did you see that bounce off the floor too? Up. Arrow. Hurry up. Right. Let's see. Apologies, just quickly checking a message that I had. A message. Right. So. It's got a tail. No soul gem large enough. You kidding? Alrighty. Go for this one first, then back down that one. Where'd you go? Oh, there's a bear up there. Where'd it go? It was up here. Oh. Oh, through the... It took an arrow to the knee. How very fitting. Right, run. Because then I need to go down and get the big guy. Oh. I can't tell if that's the dog. Or if someone's knocking on the door. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Pardon the pun right there. Turns out it was a dog. So.
We should keep moving. All right then.
Right. Haha. Are there people here? No. Okay. Oh, we have ads starting in 2.5 minutes, just so you know. Anyone that gets ads. What? Do you want me to do it or not? Jeez. Oh. It was possibly dead.
Looks like someone's been digging here, and recently.
I agree.
Tread lightly.
I'ma try to. Ooh, dwarven axe. Not a problem. Oh. Can I? Oh, I can't get him to
We
use
should
it,
keep
carry
moving.
anything for us yet. No, I can't.
All right then.
Might be during that time if I'm looking. Well, fingers crossed. You've got 1 minute, and then the ads will begin. Okay. Here we go. Didn't even see that
Careful
thing.
around the burial stone. I don't want to haul you back to your Vasker on my back.
Okay. That's the spirit, I suppose. Oh, someone's awake. Uh-oh. Oh! I thought you were dead! My apologies! Fucking hell. You took some welly. Jesus. Uh-oh. Wait, can you move, please? You have an attitude problem. Oh my goodness! Hi, baby. 9 months. You should be sleeping. Oops, I just shot him in the back. You know what? He's got this. He's got this. I'm just gonna shoot him in the back. They will begin. Can I take that arrow back? No. Oh. How are you doing? Why aren't you sleeping? A horned one. I woke up and thought it was morning because it's still light outside. No, I can't go back off. Oh, well, you can keep me company for a bit. So we're trying to get him as a companion, and I think this is the thing that we've got to do. Because once we've done this, we get accepted as one of the companions. So... And I'm going to try and not kill this one. They did ask really nicely that I tried not to kill this one. Oh, it's going to be Spinus. Is it going to be Spinus, though? I'll take that. Ooh. Oh, do they? We'll have to put that up for a vote. Do we become a werewolf? A lichen. Uh-oh. Hello? Ooh. Nope. Nope. I just know there's gonna be a spooter. You don't have to, but I don't think you can progress with them if you don't. Oh, okay. I mean, I could go and hire a companion. Welcome back from the ads, anyone that had ads. Thank you for sticking around if you did. I appreciate you. We have just descended a little bit further, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be spooters. Yay. Love that for us. Oh, no. What detected me? Ooh, what detected me? Where you going? Damn it. Oh, well, something detected me, and now it's gone. That makes me feel so much better. Later, ads. Yeah, ciao, bitches. What's my favorite food? Oh my goodness. Ooh. See, this one's kinda tricky. It was probably him. Oh, okay, fair. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Because big fan of Italian food, but I would probably like chop your arm off in order to get some form of like just, this is gonna sound really bad and I don't mean it to, but meat. Like steak, I'm there. I love Greek food because most of their meals are just fucking heavy meat portions and just, oh my god. I don't know if I have a specific favorite food. Yeah, okay, it was him.
Get away from me.
Wow, rude.
We should keep moving. Mm-hmm.
More meat, less carbs. Tastes amazing. You don't feel like crap after. This is very, very true. Very true. Me and Cyberbeard went to a place called Miller and Carter. And oh my god. Yes. just yes. They serve a beef dripping with their steak and I was having a proper fat ass moment. It was so good. Yeah. We are indeed. Oh, look, a lever. Fat ass moment, that's me. I mean, same, but like proper fat ass moment. Oh, it was just so good. I'm gonna die if I pull this, aren't I? Oh dear. Please don't kill me. Ah, fuck. Can you get me out, please?
Now look what you've gotten yourself into. No worries. Just sit tight. I'll find a release.
Oh, shit.
What was that?
It's time to die, dog.
No, don't kill him! I'll get Rome! No!
Which one is that?
Doesn't matter. He wears that armor, he dies.
Killing you will make for an excellent story.
No!
None of you will be alive to tell it.
Oh. Yeah! Get him, Fido! Get him! He does, he streams nearly every day. Not on Fridays. Thank you, Scrappy-Doo.
I I hope I didn't scare you.
Oh, you're fine. You should see what I read. You ain't got nothing.
It's a blessing given to some of us. We can be like wild beasts. Fearsome.
Friday is Beards Day. It is. You're gonna make me a werewolf.
Oh no. Only the Circle have the beast blood.
Good.
Prove your honor to be a companion. Eyes on the prey, not the horizon. We should keep moving. Still the Trogger to worry about.
Excuse me, thank you. Oh, a silver greatsword. Oh, that'll be expensive. Eyes on the prey, not the prize. I know. I was when I heard that, I was like, oh, I like it. Oh, it said not the horizon, didn't it? Ooh. A variety stream playing through Lightyear Frontier at the minute. Yes. Ooh, and on the 11th of July, right, he's doing a Shaberbeard stream. I'll be down there as well, in the background, being all like, woo! But full drag, dressed as Cher. There's going to be giveaways, and they're like gift cards. I think there was Pokemon cards, Funko Pops, things like that. I know I've missed one of the giveaway options. I apologise. There's going to be potential body waxing for bits. So however many bits dropped is a certain part of the body that'll get waxed. For every so many subs, instead you get the Cher concert experience. D&D dice set, that was it, I knew it was something. D&D dice sets as well. So say if, I don't know what the number is yet, but we'll say 10 just because it's the first number that popped into my head. But for every so many subs, you get to pick a song and it gets karaoke'd in full Cher drag. I'm so excited. Yes, it's gonna be Shaberbeard. It's gonna be great. Oh no. Those shoulders. You should watch where you're running, you know. Oh wow, they do not go down. Oh, especially if you miss.
Watch it there, sister. Not impressed.
Not my fault. Oh, I'm gonna die if it hits me again. I was not paying attention to the healing. July 11th, yep. Probably around, well, it'll be like 3 hour time. Not 100% sure what that's gonna be overseas yet. I will have to check. I think it's early morning for like American time. I will post times up the day before though. Like for everyone's time zones. Ooh, I'm so excited. It's gonna be good. Not just because I get to put him in drag. I'd be lying if I said that. Oh no! Ah, ooh. I should have known. I should have known. So I'm just gonna... Oh, I need that though. We have enough for the wedding ring. We have enough for the engagement ring. Nothing with the drag. No, nothing to do with getting him in drag at all. He's so excited as well. You can see it every time I mention how he's going to be in drag. Just the sheer excitement on his face. Nobody? Nope. Is there a spooter in there? Oh, there's a table with potions. There's gonna be something in there, you just know it. Quickly see the outfit. Oh, it's fabulous. No, take the gold. Take the gold. What's the matter with you? Oh. If they're wearing armor, they're alive. I'm so ready. If I could turn back time, yes! Well, that was the outfit choice we were kind of going for, as close to that as we could get. But, you know, because you're on Twitch, you kind of have to make sure you have a bit more of your crotch covered than she did. That is not shaming her. That woman can still rock that outfit in her 80s. Which is just ridiculously impressive, really. But I think community guidelines would be all, you know. That shouldn't be out, sir.
I'm going to put you down.
Hey, I was gonna. Nearly, fucking hell. I was not prepared.
You'll need to do better than that.
If I was on camera, you would have seen us literally look at, like, the side of the screen, being like, the fuck? Will you stay still? It's very difficult to shoot you when you move, okay? Oh, shit.
Time to end this little game.
I'm trying to. But he keeps moving! Really?
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna fucking try. I'm getting sick of this person.
Where are you?
Too high. May I ask how you found Spicy? I found Spicy through Cyber. Haha! Gotcha. I don't know how Cyber knows Spicy. They were probably playing the same kind of games. Through Cyberbeard, sorry. Ooh, getting close to the limit. Random raid. There we go. No. Everyone calls people different things on the depending on the username. Being saying beard. I know, I never thought until after I'd said cyber, I was like, I probably should have just said beard. But we've got a streamer called Bearded Dad that we know. I tend to call him Bearded. But that's just me. That's not what everyone else needs to do, obviously. Can't have double beards. Unless you're, like, really talented. Or very furry. I probably don't need to crouch anymore, but... I'm a scaredy cat. Here's all the ones I missed with. Really? Move! Really, we're gonna have a standoff? Hey, look at me when I'm talking to you.
Hey.
You're just rude. Imagine what a double beard would look like. I want that. Could like Raffi's beard count as a double beard? That's quite a sizable beard, isn't it? That boy's thick. What's your favorite song of all time? Oh my goodness. I don't even know if it's possible to just have one ultimate favorite song of all time. I don't think that's just the spicy brain either. It is. Oh. Of all time? Because it can't even be like, you know, oh, what's one song that you can listen to day in, day out? Because there's about 15, 16 on that list as well. Ooh. I was, but at the same time, that's a very broad spectrum as well, really. Like, you're not just limited to, like, one kind. That'd be like saying my favourite genre. Which is probably classic rock. But actual classic rock, not fucking... I mean, I like Nirvana, but they're not classic rock. Because that would mean I'm very, very old. No, classic rock's like Aerosmith and... you know. You know your favourite of all time. Fall to the ceiling. That hole's already there. Yes, precisely. I'll probably will do that. And that will be what I say. What's your favourite of all time then? Come on. Come on. Is it them pipes falling down the stairs song? Ooh. Ooh. I have no idea what that is. Imagine that bloody phone. I'm so confused. What do you mean? Am I gonna have to go on YouTube? Duchess! Hello, lovely! Fashion concourse, the blackout. Oh, okay. Never heard that one, I don't think. How are you? How's it going? Ignore. Not imagine. Oh, ignore that bloody foot, sorry. Just woke up. Ooh. Did you sleep well? Oh, am I over encumbered? But all I did was pick up. Gosh darn it. You did good. I'm glad you slept well. I'll eat that. I know I'm carrying too much. Cave bear pelt. In all fairness, it's the weapons. I'm gonna have to... It's a good bow though, I'm not getting rid of that. I can get a good bit of money off that. That can go... Cyber is a metal fan, yeah. Been streaming Subnautica. Oh. How are you finding that? I like how that game wasn't actually meant to be a horror, but it just kind of is now a horror game. I want to keep these because you get a lot of money for them. Maybe not so much that one. I love it, but my soul left my body last night. Oh god. Dare I ask, what is it that you faced? I know, do tell, right? Do tell. Right, well, we've got 30 now. I kind of want the dwarven sword, though. I've got a feeling that there's something good about having this sword. I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm a loot goblin, okay? That's why she's called Pandora Loots a lot. There's not. What do you mean there's not? There might be good money. Don't kill my buzz. Oh, I missed. Right amount of scream and sing. That's one thing I've never fully got into. Like, I've got quite an eclectic music taste. Like, I literally love everything from some quite heavy metal to fucking ABBA and disco and Blood Rave from Blade. Couldn't think of the name. That is a tune. That's brilliant when you're in the gym. I have been to one of those, honest. Ooh. Can I have that one back? Yeah, I can. But I could never really get away with like major screamo stuff. Like there's something Cyber sent us to listen to. He's like, listen to the story. Like, I can't even make out the fucking lyrics, man. Well, I mean, that was a bit unnecessary, wasn't it? I got the safety. No, I got the safety, got out the sea moth, pulled out my knife. Oh, sorry, I missed the first bit. A reaper was looking at the lost river in my sea moth. Reaper was on my ass. It would have been the second sea moth I lost to a reaper. Oh dear. There, I pulled my knife and I'll cut a bitch. I'm new to Screaming too, but there's more you listen to it. Especially lyrics mean the longest. I mean, when I read the lyrics that went with this song, it was like, obviously I got the meaning behind it and it was very, it was unexpectedly meaningful, you know what I mean? Because when you first listen to it, like you say, you don't expect such a story behind it and whatnot. But I could not for the life of us understand what that fucker was saying. And you know, I'm northern, I hear a lot of different accents and understand a few of them. But that was just like, nah, not a clue.
Enough of this!
Whoa! I got lost looking for the Lost River. Most of my streams of Subnautica are just me being lost. I mean, that is fair. It looks like it can be quite a complicated game, to be honest. Woo. Sorry. The yawning has begun. Hello? No. Right, I shot you. Everything looks the same. Yep. I haven't seen much gameplay, but from what I have seen, yeah, it does. Oh, really? That was on it. You saw that, right? That was on it. So was that! Cheeky bitches. Oh yeah, if I aim for its arse, it goes in its hand. Okay. I've been tempted to start learning, but I don't know. Oh, it'll make your voice dead raspy. Go for it. Mind you, then that means when we're sitting on your streams, instead of hearing all your, like, your usual singy song, we're going to be hearing... That just sounded like a burp, didn't it? Apologies. Ooh-hoo. At least wearing armor. More burps the better. Technically that missed. Aim for the foot. Okay, it did. It did. It did. Shh. May I have my arrows back? Thank you. About the one that went over your head. Thank you. It would have been like that couple on TikTok with yeah, that's I remember you sending us that one. Except unlike her, where she's just like, oh, this is great, I'm gonna do my makeup. I'd literally be like, oh. Ooh. What we're gonna put back, what we're gonna put back. Oh, man. Fine. Get rid of anything silver or lower that's not magical. But Mom! It'll be fine once I get a companion. Do I still need that? No. Oh, okay. Fine. I'm keeping that though. Fine. Just wait. As soon as I get a companion, I'll loot extra. I did? I'm keeping the orc armor. That's like 1,000. Oh. But that's like 600 and something. Even if I just get 100 coins for that. Like I'm negotiating my own loot. There's gonna be spooters. I just know it. Oh. Hello. I don't have a problem. The only problem I've got is that this bitch is too weak. And that bitch won't let me give him stuff to carry for me. Does he not know I require the princess treatment? If I remember rightly, there's no spiders on this quest. Ooh! Good. Still people.
Is someone there? Huh?
Spoiler alert. There's 2 of them! That's not what the spoiler alert was gonna be, but hey, oh fuck, I missed. Will you stop it? Thank you.
Nothing. That's your best, huh?
In a butt. In a butt. All the side.
You're making me angry.
Oh, thank God, I thought I hit the dude. Y'all fuck with the Lord of the Rings! Oh, I love Lord of the Rings. So much. It is something that we have to watch yearly. Sometimes twice a year. Every Christmas, this is a little tradition that I've had since I was little and I now do with my nephews. Every Christmas we have to watch 1 Harry Potter and 1 Lord of the Rings or Hobbit. Oh, and have a nice little binge Lord of the Rings session. Yeah! I think we did not that long ago. We need to finish the Hobbit. How people couldn't tell. I'm not sure what one. Oh, hang on. The band's 7. The youngest is 7. So we're on to. Wait. We're on to film number 7, yeah? I'll check. I haven't seen any. I know, I'm gonna rectify that problem. Nobody's perfect here, don't worry. We'll get there.
What was that?
Nothing?
Thought I heard something.
Damn you.
Oh, there we go.
You won't leave here alive.
Yeah, well. Ooh, through the eyeball. Not through nothing.
Victory's yours, I submit.
I know.
You're making me angry.
Get him! I missed. Of course I missed. Do you have to use the bow, or is it bow by choice? Beer is flowing nicely. Ooh, nice. Sorry, I was trying to focus. I don't have to use the bow. I am doing like a stealth archer build, but I do have daggers. I just panic and forget I have daggers, and then just shoot. Basically, I do have daggers though. And I've got a sword that, that one. That heals you when you hit them. Healing sword sounds OP. It's pretty good. I think it's like a lower level. But hang on, we'll have a look. I will top this up first. So there it is. So it takes... oh, no. Oh, it's on my other character. I've got the healing sword. I lied. I'm sorry. I've got a separate save that I play offline. And they're a magic user and they have a weapon, like a sword. So this one just deals frost damage. But they have a sword that takes health and gives it to you. Do you guys drink? Not very often. Oh, excuse me. Lies. I know, I'm sorry. Can I say I'm just shit? I don't drink often. I used to. Not like, you know, having a problem or anything. But I can put the booze away if I want to. I just, meh. You know, the old daddy was an alcoholic kind of business. Yeah, it kind of puts you off. I'm gonna need to be drunk for shame. Would you be okay?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, you go fight something else. That's not me.
Get him. Kill him.
My parents didn't drink. Skips a generation this far. I wish things would skip a generation. My family.
That's the last of them.
Mainly health conditions. We like to collect them. Well, I know there was at least one.
Is someone there?
Oh no. Ooh. Oh, shoot him, look! That's just bad roll. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But kinda don't have a choice but to deal with it. Was there like another pathway back there I didn't know about? Yes, you were. Leave me alone. D&D, what? D&D die. Win them during share stream. On Cyberbeard stream. Yeah! Nice! You're hired. We'll pay you in compliments and gratitude. The power of friendship! In my best radio voice. Ooh, yeah. Oh, for the love of it. So I've got to aim under it to hit it. Okay. Aim under. Hit. Really? Every time.
Huh?
Yeah, you hit that thing that's behind there that I can't see.
Time to end this little game.
Damn you.
Dude, there's someone shooting. Really? This is why you die. Do you not see the big guy with the sword? There you go. Fuck me, man. Is there a Skyrim online? There's an Elder Scrolls online. I used to play that. ESO. Right in the back of the liver. Now see, when it takes that many arrows to put someone down, I kind of partially feel like going, you know what? You can have this. If you can withstand like 8 arrows, you win. Christ, there's some people here that can't even handle an arrow to the knee. I had to, I'm sorry. I'm not really. My bad. You good? And yes, I sneak everywhere. If I can. Because I choose life. Hello. And I'm a bit of a wimp. Sneaky sneaker, exactly. I'm leveling up the sneak. That's where it is. Like a ninja. Oh, that's... Same. Dude, same. Oh, gooey. Get it. Bum, bum, ba-da-da, ba. Doo-doo. Is it dead? It looks dead. It's dead. Oh, someone's not though. Nothing.
Over here. I love a challenge.
Is that your best, huh?
See, like this lady, she is taking some arrows, man. Yeah, shoot him, not me.
True Nords never back down.
Wee, I'm not a true node. No, 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 no. Oh, you're old, man. You know what? That was rude. You're right. Sorry. Ah.
Sign of him. Speak, elf.
I can't. I'm dead.
Hey.
Oh, we are not back at the start. Motherfucker, I swear to God.
Never should have come here.
A fight.
Oh, good.
I'm getting out of here.
What? What do you mean you're getting out of here? Don't you laugh at me.
What's that?
Yeah, mom. Go on, the big guy. Huh?
I was sure I heard something.
I can't really shoot anyone through them. I know I can't. I can't clip. Just saying. Not saying that changed the rules for me. If you want to clip, exclamation mark clip will automatically clip the last 30 seconds. And I can edit it myself, or I think you might be able to edit it. I'm not sure, but if you can't, I can. It says you have to follow for a month. Oh! Oh, there you go. Well, you know now, which is fine. It's a bit silly having to follow for a month. But if you, for that particular bit, because you've made that clip, I'll know around about there is where the whoopsie occurred. So I will go back and I will make the clip for you. Fear not. Not a problem. I forget about things like that, so I don't think to mention them. I'll use clip from now on. Not a problem. I think the only other exclamations I've got are like socials, so it'll send you to, I think it sends you to me link tree. Because we've got Discord. Oh, hello. So evidently, if I aim for the knees... Except for that one. So yeah, it'll send you to the link tree, which will give you pretty much, I think, all links that I've got available. It may also have the some links that you just ignore. Like Throne and Coffee. We don't need to pay attention to them, it's fine. They're just on there because I kept getting told I had to put them. At the knees with ease. Fuck yeah. Sounds like an advert for some kind of fucking... Do ignore the arthritis thing, doesn't it? At ease with knees. Anything from the trolley? Right, what's in here this time? Right, we're gonna quick save before I dive into there. Just, whoo, hello. Do you want to talk about how you brought it back? Yeah, I'm fine with talking about it. So when I say brought me back, I should probably... It's not the best wording for it. I technically popped 3 discs, but I damaged one of them so badly that I now just have a degenerative... Oh, hang on. I can't remember how you... I think it's degenerative disc disease. So basically the disc's just in a permanent state of crumbling. I did have surgery on one of them, which is the one that is in the permanent state of it's just going to keep crumbling. But I worked in care at the time. I've always had a dodgy back. Like, you know, the occasional bit back pain. I was born with scoliosis, which is a curvature of the spine. But I straightened that out. But I worked in care. And I'd like to say I was doing something dead noble. Like, you know, I was saving them from a house fire. But I was putting a sock on someone. And they happened to... Fucking glass. Sorry, I was not prepared for that. That was great. it's just the way he just flew through the... Oh. Anyway. So yeah, I was helping somebody out because the way that I worked in care, it was classed as assisted living. So I had 4 mentally, physically disabled individuals that lived in a bungalow. We also had what they classed as a sister home, which was just another home with another 4 individuals that was of the same company. So we'd dot between them two. The time it happened, so the day of the accident, I was actually in that sister home, which wasn't my normal area of work. We just occasionally went there when we had to cover for staff. And I was helping somebody get ready, and they're a young person. They were like, I want to say 23 or something at the time. I'm like 27. And I think that he just finds it embarrassing because he's still there for the most part. But like, you know, you're having 20-odd-year-old women change you and clothe you and such. So you occasionally get a bit...
You should have stayed in precious forest.
Oh, bollocks. Sorry, I can't multitask to save my life, so I'll tell and then I'll go. So while putting said sock on him, I'm on the right side with the right leg. He kicks in the left direction to make sure he didn't fall. I gripped his ankle. And you heard 3 distinct pops as my arm stretched up. Because I looked like I was trying to Superman across the bed. Because he had some bloody strength in him, mind. And I initially, when I got the pain, thought that I'd just got sciatica again. So didn't really think much of it and continued with the rest of my 13 hours. Now, most people that work in care will tell you corners get cut when they shouldn't. So you will do a lot of heavy lifting that you should not do. Yeah, literally I was helping somebody get dressed. I was helping them put their socks on. And he kicked his leg with quite a bit of force. And I kept hold. So I overextended myself. I've got hypermobility as well, which means like my joints and stuff can stretch a bit. I didn't realise that also meant your spine can go. So I've just overstretched. And as I've overstretched with all the pressure and stuff that you do from like all the heavy lifting and whatnot, we don't really know how it's happened, but I've popped 3 discs. So I continued with the rest of my shift. And the next day I didn't walk for 6 to 8 weeks until I had surgery. Oh, well, hang on, no, February. Sorry, that's a lie. I didn't walk for 5 months. Because I had the accident in February and I got my surgery in June. And that was the next time I was able to walk. But going into surgery, couldn't walk. Came out of surgery, could walk. Which is quite a shock to the system. But the disc was that... I don't know if you have a big knowledge of how your spine looks if you were to get an MRI. But it looks like, if you think of like a Mickey Mouse face, how you've got the round face and then the 2 little ears. The little ears, but you can count as like a tunnel or a canal or something where your nerves go. My disc had popped that much, I'd crushed the nerves against the wall. So I now have permanent nerve damage in my left leg. And I've still got 2 damaged discs, and the 3rd disc that they fixed is on its way out already. Because of the crumbling business. So I'm just a wee bit delicate, I suppose. I do feel like I should start telling people I did something like super heroic. Like All Might style shit, you know what I mean? Like, I am here! While I carried the orphans from the building.
Thought I heard something.
You did.
Yeah! Sit there, sister.
Sorry. You might want to, turn around. Dipshit. No? Oh no. Turn around. Andy, hello. Our ads are going to start in 1 minute, just so you know. Hello there. You did. That's exactly what you heard. I did pop 3 discs when helping someone physically and mentally handicapped. And do you know what it is? It was one of the best jobs I've ever had. It was like, I used to get beat to shit. I mean, like, beaten to shit. Get up. Ooh, you can die. Welcome in. Nice to see you. How you doing? Oh well, we're gonna have all them now.
Let's see what you got.
Can you stand up? There we go. Oh, I'm trying, you fucking rude bastard. There's 2 of you. There's only 1 of me. Oh no! Oh no!
No sign of it.
God damn it! Knackered but good. How are you? I am pretty good, thank you. Right. Gonna have to figure something out, because he just stands there like a feckin' tit. I forget that I can shout. Yep. That's a thing that I can do. What is knackered? I feel knackered. Tired. But very tired. That's the one. I literally couldn't think of the word exhausted. I was like, it's knackered. Knackered. Oh. How do I say knackered without saying knackered? I appreciate you. Thank you. You're another type of knackered. Do you mean intoxicated? Ad. Oh, you got the ad. Oh, dear. Call to arms. What is that? I could... No. I feel like I should keep that for something major. And this isn't major. This is just me not being able to multitask. Could use that with the... Does that hit more than... No, that's 15. I'm not doing enough damage. Yeah, I know. No idea how, because I'm crap, that's how. Right. Can you hit people when they're trying to hit? Don't look at me when I'm talking. Don't hide. We all have bad days, okay? The orcish axe will swing faster. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What arrows am I using right now? Steel. I'm gonna use them. And you have a level up. Ooh! Health or stamina? What do you think? Do you know what it is? I knew you meant war axe and I still just read ear axe and went with it. Oh, we can't do anything else in archery yet. I could potentially one-handed though. Hang on. Fighting stance. Power attacks cost 20. Well, that doesn't help me none. That might though. 40% more damage. So that's a possibility. Because I can't do anything until we get 1 more level in archery. Well, I am currently wearing all light armor. So I could do that. Because I've got that. I love this screen. It's dead pretty, isn't it? Welcome back from the ads as well. Thank you very much for sticking around. I appreciate you greatly. I don't really need to improve my sneak. So what do we think? Light armor or one-handed? So I can make it increase the rating by 40%. A 25% bonus when I'm wearing all, which I am. Oh, really? Custom fit. Okay. Now we get to die, but with it being fitted. Stylishly perish. Right, okay, right. We had a talk. You need to just stop looking at random objects, mate. I'm talking to you. Excuse me.
Hey.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely wearing all light. Look. Light. Light. Doesn't count. Light. Light. Ta-da! I know. I've not found any yet, though. One down.
Is someone there?
No.
Enough.
Ah, fuck.
Victory is yours. I submit.
You'll need to do better than that.
Fuck.
Stand still!
Ow.
Your kind.
No place here. I'll fix you good.
What are you doing? Get up!
I love a good fight.
My Izmir. You'll pay for that.
No, I won't. I might. Old man, don't quit. Old man is like nails. Fuck you. Right away, bitch.
Death awaits you. I'll have your head.
Really? Ow. Not
You
time.
won't get away from me.
What do you mean? Oh. Yeah, you go roll.
You call yourself a Nord?
Gonna hit him, aren't I? Nope, missed.
Back here. No more. I yield. I yield.
Don't care. You guys killed me 3 times. You brick hard fucker. Jesus. Oh, okay. I aspire to be that, like, GG for, yeah, it was a first try, you're right, that's the first try you've seen, and that's the only one that counts. There you are. Fucking, there's a reason he made it to that age, I'm telling you. Because he snorts vampire dust. Bloody hell. How's the streaming been going for you, Sam? Are you alright if I call you Sam, or would you prefer Sam Hain? Ooh. Oh, too far. Oh, another glass bowl. Go on then, why not? What are you looking at? Why are you still sneaking? Or is that just your permanent stance? Anything else? I shouldn't have asked that question. There's gonna be now. Sounds good. Been on a little break getting IRL stuff done. That is fair. That is fair. I'm going to be on a bit of a break next week because I'm going to be down in Wales for Shepherd. And it's Cyber's birthday as well. Double whammy. Woo! Oh, I didn't mean to do that. All these open at some point. Ah, fabulous. You can have your bowl back though. I didn't mean to take that. Oh, they are all open. It is. It's going to be great. Maybe I'm thinking somewhere else. Oh, fabulous. Love that. Even more fun places. Oh. Oh, come on. Right, I'm taking it and I'll just put something else in there, don't I? They're worth a lot of money. That's worth a lot of money. It's not worth as much money. Not worth it. Did you not see how much that was? That's like 400. That's more than the steel... No, it's not. Damn it. Why can't you just carry things for me?
We should keep moving.
Prick.
Until next time.
She's called Lutz a lot. Okay? It's in the name. Up the butt. Oh. Uh-oh. On the nosy. Can't do his important roles for carrying it. Of course he can. He can fat roll. If they can fat roll in Elden Ring, they can fat roll on here. God damn it. Don't forget to save. Touche. I know you're in here. I can smell you. Oh. Hello. Thank you for your contribution to the Panda Fund. Oh!
Cheese.
Bastard. Oh, I nearly dislocated my elbow with that one. Oh, get in! Cheese! Oh, nope, nope, nope. Oh, yeah. Oh, hello. Thanks. Ooh! Oh. That's not a good sign, is it? Picker of locks. Oh, yeah. Right. Nope, not what I want.
Time for a little drinking pool. Cheers, genitals.
I need to go and fill up my water. So I'm just gonna highlight these. I'm gonna highlight that one first, and then that one. And then if you would be so kind as to wait momentarily. Go and get a drink. I will leave you with some tunes, of course. I shall be right back. I will refund that. Hello.
Hello there.
Hello, General Kenobi. Now, slight problem. It turns out that one can't be refunded, so I'll just play it again. Because that's the best I can do. When I find it. Can I? Yes. In 7 minutes. Okay. Sorry. I have hydrated though. Yay. Right. Probably gonna die. I know. Well, do you see, the reason I have them cooldowns is... Oh, hello! Is because if I didn't, they would get, like, spammed, especially the stop it and the jump scare. Why do I think the jump scare will get spammed? Oh, I don't know. Oh. Up the butt. That's the fun of it. It's not the fun of it. I'll get desensitized. A jump scare spammed. No way. I know it's hard to believe that that could happen, right? But there are just some people out there that want to watch world burn. I'm old, okay? I get palpitations and stuff. I thought you said there'd be no spiders. You lied. Oh, you lied hard. I nearly did just jump, you little fucker. That was fucker. By the way, I realised how that... Ah! I can hear it. Oh, look at it. Fuck you. Woo! Let me out. You'd call me a liar in this instance. Just saying. Mother! Are there any more? You should have saved that jump for now. It fucking worked, I can tell you that. Oof. Do you have any healing spells to heal Fargus? He keeps going down because he's not had time to heal up. I only have fast healing. And I think that's only a self-heal. Boom! Boom, motherfucker. Oh, yeah. He's healed. I mean, I would give him healing potions to carry, but I can't give him anything. Why is it always spiders? Where'd the other one go? Oh. Ooh, a supple one. Eat. should look into finding a heal person spell. Especially since you love companion. I mean, yeah. As long as I don't shoot him though, he won't die. Unless he's Sven, then he gets eaten by a dragon, and that's what I'm sticking to. Go Sven. Where'd he go? Oh, there. I could hire one. Out of there's one in one of the pubs, I think. I'm kind of getting used to Bucky Barnes off Wish, though. Dragon will kill him, yeah. I mean, it's a dragon, so it makes sense, doesn't it?
Hola! Soy Dora. Can you say zombie?
If they're not wearing armor, they don't get back to life and kill you. Watch, that suddenly changes now I've said it. Thank you. I saw that mushroom, don't worry. Mushrooms! Nice crispy bacon.
Can you say delicioso?
No. Okay. We're probably going to die. Prepare yourself.
Room service.
Ah, of course. Oh my god. Making my way downtown. Oh my god. Fucking fire shout. Oh no, everyone's gonna come out of it, I'm gonna die. Oh! So we've got marked for death or fire. Oh, I can unlock both. What do you think we should equip then? As an opponent's armor and life force are weakened. Oh. See, the problem with that is I'll set him on fire. I'm potentially going to use that fucking thing. Oh, look at that. Hang on, there's no point in me having less award on a favourites, because I'm not going to be able to use it. Oh, shush. Well, I can't even tell him to wait. I had no choice. He had to come with us on this one. Come on then. Oh, I spoke too soon. Fuck. Twitch wouldn't let me raid, so here I am. Oh yeah, sorry, I hit the switch so I couldn't be raided for another hour because it was like 2.5 hours in and knowing my luck I get raided last minute. But my apologies. Hi! How was stream?
I'll have his head.
Nope, what I wanted.
Damn you. Do your first.
Out. Okay. Get up. Move, bitch. Missed.
That's all you got? You won't get away from me.
Excuse me. I know, hold it down. Woo! Oh no! Fuck off. Ah.
I'm gonna kill you.
Whoa! I thought you went down already. Yeah, get stuck on the table. Good thing. Oh, really? My fucking TV just popped up with it. I'm gonna shut down. What's it about? I'm panicking. Oh my god! Are we alive? Oh, we're alive! So yes, sorry about that. I clicked it a little bit early. Just because I didn't want, like, anyone to raid last minute. But yes, I'm glad stream went well for you. Nice shooting. Thank you very much. It was good, but it was sad. Oh dear. That went better than expected. It did, it did. Not gonna lie. That was, well done me. No, it's fine. I also got 100. Yes! 100 followers! Well done! Woo! Need to do another one of those. Excuse me. Oh, that's me. Go fuck yourself. Okay?
Oh no!
I don't know how you guys listen to that.
I can't believe the game just did that to me. God damn you, game.
What did it do?
So, I used torrent to go up the torrent.
Oh, excuse me. That was a sneeze. 24-hour stream to celebrate. Woo!
I love you, random citizen.
That's the best celebration on screen I've got. Sorry. I would, but I'm working all the time. That is true. He did get promoted at work as well. So, lots of busy. Oh, I just went dizzy. Ooh. Did I miss anyone? Yep. How about you? Jesus. Oh, look at him. He's kicking his little leg. Looks like he's writing in his diary. So today, I got shot in the face. YOLO. Well. Sort of. Oh, sorry. God, no sense of humor, has he? I know. That's why I pressed the button. I expected this to be the last thing we did. Ooh, that might be good. What have I got on now? What does the necklace I've got on now do? Can't remember. Oh, decreases time between shouts. So I'll put that one on. We did it, guys! We did it! Woo! I wear that one. Oh, well. What, the decreased shout one or the one I've just put on? Takes one, I think. Aye, the decreased shout one, yeah. I keep forgetting I can shout, as you can tell because I kept pressing that fucking button instead. We did it! Oh, what did we? Pull the lever, Crunk. Oh, right lever.
You did it! You did it! I knew you would! I just knew you would!
Oh, yeah. I thought we were talking about shout-outs. Shout-outs? We weren't. However, I have been very terribly naughty and I haven't given you shout-outs. Terribly naughty. Chew. I've been waiting for that one. Oh, we can collect the hanging moss, I forgot. Hey! Right, so... Fast travel. It's you, Will.
I've been looking for you.
Oh, you have?
Your hands only. There's a new museum opening up in Dawnstar. The owner is asking me to hand out invitations to travelers.
Did I just teabag that guy?
That's it. Have to go.
Looked like.
Person in there.
Christ, you not nearly shit myself there.
Someone clip that! Someone clip it! Someone do it! Clip that shit! Clip both of them.
Yep, that happened. Gosh golly. Search chest. Put the potions back. I will sell these eventually. Magicka. That was during my 1-year stream. Yeah, I had it. I had your stream up in the background. I was a lurking. I think I may have been asleep on that bit though, and how I didn't wake up. Gosh dang. Oh. Because Ayla popped in before kindly and left us some bitties. We need to give Ayla shouties.
Here. I am Ayla Horse. I am the Strange from Maine.
Cheers.
And we're just going to kind of walk around today. I can't see the chat, so I don't know if anybody's really even watching. I can see the redeem, though, so that's cool. Do you see it? Do you guys see it? It's right there.
Oh.
Legit 4-leaf clover.
That's bro.
And we're going to...
That was a very, pardon the pun, but a very lucky find that was. I love Ayla's laugh as well. She's got the best laugh. Have I missed any of you fine folk? Oh, I missed Thirsty. I forgot about Pandy. Oh my goodness, I should be ashamed of myself. Thank you for the shouty. That was a Night Rain boss. Oh, did you like Night Rain?
What?
Oh, wow.
And you're welcome.
Smile.
What?
I'm done with that.
What?
Done with it.
Get scared of?
Done with it.
Why are you being so...
Thanks.
definitely talk to me. Yeah, nice.
Talk to me.
Bye.
Tried mercenary work?
No.
It might suit you.
Try to hide it all you want. I know you.
I'm not trying to hide that I'm in the Thieves Guild. Why would I do that? That is silly. Okay, so we'll hand this in. And then we will find somebody to raid. Because my 3 hours are up. Yes and no. I find people quit too often. Oh! I know there was mixed reviews on, like, because you can only have,
Today we
is it
welcome a new
2 or
soul into our
4
mortal
people?
fold. This woman has endured, has challenged, and has shown her valor.
Like, I love Elden
Who
Ring.
will speak for her?
Oh, he's
I
impatiently
stand
tapping
witness
his
to the
foot.
courage of the soul before us.
Would you raise your shield in her defense?
I would stand at her back, that the world might never overtake us.
And would you raise your sword in her honor?
It stands ready to meet the blood of her foes.
Oh,
And
thanks.
would you raise a mug in her name?
I would lead the song of triumph as our mead hall reveled in her stories.
Then the
It's because I
judgment
shot him in
of
the
this
arse, innit?
circle is complete. Her heart beats with fury and courage that have united the companions since the days.
Yeah, 2
of
other people.
distant green
It's still good and fun, just
Let
not a
it
binge
beat
type of
with
game.
ours,
Ah, that's
that
fair.
The mountains may echo.
Because
and our
yeah, I
enemies
love
may
Elden
tremble
Ring,
at the call.
but I wasn't sure on that
shall
game because I know
be
you can. What's it? You've
Well,
got to pick
girl,
out of
you're one
3 or
of us now.
4
I trust you won't disappoint.
characters, and yes, you can sort of level them up to be your own kind of style. But see, I haven't watched enough on it either to know if this is just what some people have said or if this is actually what the game's like. But you've got to have like a set type of character. Like, obviously, I know, yes, in Elden Ring, you've got to have, like, faith or this or that, but you can blend 2 different types together if you want, or you can make it specifically just one kind. I think, like, Night Rain was being portrayed, from what I've seen anyway, of, like, it's more like, you know, you've got either a caster or a tank or something like that.
I see you've been allowed to know some secrets before your appointed time. No matter. Yes, it's true. Not every companion, though. Only members of the Circle all share the blood of the beast. Some take to it more than others.
It's more like class-based. Yeah, I thought. Some are all arranged, some are all melee. Yeah. It still does look good, though. I probably will get it. I've just got that many games that I'm kind of trying to play through. I don't see the point in buying them right now. Because they'll just sit there. And they could go on sale, you know what I mean?
Living as beasts
Love a
draws our souls
bargain.
closer to the daedric lord Hircine. Some may prefer an eternity in his hunting grounds.
Oh, we're getting a bit more drops
But I
now.
crave the fellowship of Sovngarde.
Okay.
Yes, but it's no easy matter. But you don't need to share the worries of an old warrior. This day is to rejoice in your bravery. And speak to Yorland if you want a better weapon than whatever that is.
Rude. It's a glass bow.
I never
bitch.
thought they
Oh.
would actually let me join the companions. But now it looks like they're letting anyone in these days.
Oh, you're a dick. Hello.
Skjor says that I have the strength of Ysgramor, and my brother has his smarts. We've gotten a letter about someone needing some muscle up in Hufengar. I don't know what the fight is about, and that's not our business anyway. I just need you to go out there, look tough, and scare this milk drinker into submission. No more than that. I don't want to hear about a killing, understand?
Oh.
Try not to get carried away.
So I can't have him as a follower.
Some people don't think I'm smart, Those people get my fist.
Okay.
But you,
It's fine.
like.
It's fine. It's fine. We can buy one tomorrow. It's not a
My
problem.
brother Vilkas is a better talker than me. He should be around someplace.
He is a bit like Bucky Barnes off Wish, isn't he? The Winter Soldier of Skyrim.
I'm
Move.
here to help.
About you.
I've heard you may actually be stronger than
Damn
you
it.
look. Perhaps
You
we
can
hunt
eventually,
together
yeah.
someday.
If I get hurt, it'd be better because I could use the archery thing, couldn't I? Right, so quick save. And then we shall switch to that screen briefly. Hi, guys. Right, let's find someone to raid. Do you want to stick with Skyrim? Or like the Elder Scrolls-ish thing? Let's have a look what we've got. So out of people that we follow, we have Sea of Thieves, we have... The Altars. Oh, there you go, Skyrim. Oh, we have Night Rain. I know we were just talking about that. Would we like Skyrim or Night Rain? What do we think? It might make us want to buy it. This is true. Go on. Because this person is absolutely adorable as well. I'm a big fan of War Gracel. So, here we go. Raid subscriber. Oh, wrong button. Raid follower. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here and joining me tonight with my Skyrim journey. We will hopefully be back tomorrow with more Skyrim. I may even have a camera, but we'll see. But yes, thank you all for being here with me. I appreciate you greatly. And I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. If you wouldn't mind awfully sticking around and saying hi to Grace Forest, that would be great. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.